Hello everybody, and this is our week 13 overview video to help us get through this assignment. After this one, there's only two more assignments left, so we're very, very close. Now, in week 13, you will go to module 14. I know that's a little confusing. We're talking about create a slideshow using digital images. Now, before we go any further, let's talk about why you might do something like this. We've kind of done something similar with like infographics and digital storytelling. It's very much connected to that in that, same thing, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So a lot of ways where you might use a slideshow using digital images. I'm just going to mention a few to kind of get your juices flowing, and you can think about other ways you would help your students by doing this. What you would do is, what you could do is if you think about using digital images as a great way to just help students brainstorm, think about doing creative writing, helping students with the writing, especially the older enough to do like some of the standardized writing exams. It can be kind of boring, kind of tedious. Using digital images, maybe some funky, fun, crazy images to get students motivated, get them thinking about creativity. Would be a great way to use digital images. Introducing new material, where just what do you see? What does this make you think of? Where you're not telling them even what the subject is. You're just going to get them thinking. It's a kind of a warm up. So I think it's this. I think it's that. Maybe it's kind of on top of it. Maybe you have images where you was really zoomed in on just a piece of the image, and then the next image is a little more of the picture, and you kind of keep zooming out, and they kind of see what you're doing. A great way to do reviews, lots of just different fun ways so you can just get the brains going. Whereas not just here's information, here's data, here's facts, here's figures, here's assignments. Get some things going. Now, let's take a real quick here. We have module 14. To click that link, takes you right here. Drive open. Your slideshow we're going to try to use Adobe Spark. I will say this: if you are absolutely struggling with it, if you find that using a Google Slides or some sort of other different, if you're experiencing something else that you feel is better than Adobe Spark, or after you watch these videos you just don't think you can do it, which shouldn't be the case if you're struggling with Adobe Spark, come to my office, we'll get you through it. But if for some reason you just absolutely cannot get the assignment done in Adobe Spark and you want to use something else, I'm okay with that. Don't freak out and think that you're going to fail because Adobe Spark is giving you issues. If you need to do something else, do something else. But first, you have some videos to watch, okay? And down here, you do have a couple of sites you need to read about how to use digital images, sites and apps. Right? Because you do the written report portion of how, I kind of mentioned a few things, how you could do it. How you could do this slideshow. What you think you might want to do, the written report portion of how you think you might use it in your classroom, and then again with your project, any topic of interest, educational topic, classroom-based topics, class rules, anything that applies to anything you might be doing in the future as an educator. If you're talking about how to help your parents, if you're going to be, again, I've mentioned before, the drama club sponsor, whatever you think about doing, okay, and make your video, and then you can read through all this. Now let's go back. Oops, I probably didn't have that open twice. My apologies. Let's go back here real quick. The one-page paper and how to use it to slideshow to your students. The word count. At least 2 resources provided. Mentioning is that is you can use those resources on the other page in the Google Doc. List those in the slideshow. Relevant, and then we've kind of mentioned that you have a couple different options. Resources mentioned are used in the slideshow. What I'm talking about this is when you look up your digital slideshow, your digital images, what you're going to want to do, there's lots of places you can get digital images to use for free, but you're going to want to, in addition to, if you want to mention these other resources you looked at, but if you got those images, from Shutterstock, make mention of that, reference those, and that's what we're talking about, to get those. If I just see a bunch of images with no credit given to their source, that's the issue here. I hope that makes sense. And finally, 12 slides long. I will mention this. If you are doing Kinder, K1, 2, and you think, man, it's hard to do one slideshow of that length, you need to break it into, like we've done some other previous assignments, that's totally acceptable. I'm okay with that, but you'd have to do too. Do make sure in those instructions you do see right here with the share button, the embed code. Okay, make sure you do that correctly. Be careful with that. Okay. Again, up on here says week 13. Here says week 14. That's just because things do jump around a little bit, and I forgot to change that. We're on week 13. All right, guys, that is our week 13 assignment. I hope I didn't go too fast. Please make sure that, again, as we're so close to the end, if you need help, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you for your hard work. I look forward to seeing you next week, and I will see you online.